You won't believe this, but everything we expected was true.
So this sounds, it's just crazy. I can't believe this has been happening. I think this is just a total shock to everybody. But apparently a PR firm has been manipulating the Rotten Tomatoes movie scores for over 5 years by paying critics directly. I can't believe it.
Same. Who would have expected that critics are getting paid and that they are not truthful? I guess this is why we ignore critic scores.
Guys,
Shocking.
how could they possibly do this?
Life-changing.
No way! No way! What? What? They're doing this? Are you kidding me? Oh my god! This is, I would have never guessed.
But isn't that illegal? No, it's not actually.
I didn't think this was happening. What is this? This system is broken. Audiences are dumber. Normal people don't go through reviews like they used to. Rotten Tomatoes is something the studios can game. So they do.
Obviously.
The PR firm is Bunker 15, and they pay $50 or more for a review. They often recruit, let's go ahead and read the whole thing.
Nice.
Obscure critics who aren't part of the pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. These payments are typically not disclosed. That's smart. That way people will take it more seriously. And Rotten Tomatoes says it prohibits reviewing based on financial incentive. One film, Ophelia, starring Daisy Ridley, went from 46% to 62%. That's an increase of a lot. Rotten Tomatoes has delisted a number of Bunker 15 movies from its website and sent a warning to writers who reviewed them. We take the integrity
Yeah, they sure do take their integrity seriously. I'm sure when they block people's reviews of films because they don't like the film, I'm sure Rotten Tomatoes takes their integrity so seriously that it's unbelievable.
of our scores seriously, and we do not tolerate any attempts to manipulate them. We have a dedicated team who monitors our platforms regularly and thoroughly investigates and resolves any suspicious activity. So, let's go ahead and we'll look just a little bit about this. Oh god, it's very bright, I apologize. A feminist retelling of Hamlet starring Daisy Ridley, who had seen early screenings, published 13 reviews, 7 of them negative, which translated to 46%. But just boy, it doesn't mean
a feminist retelling of Hamlet. Bro.
to say there. Bunker 15 went to work. While most PR companies aim to get the attention of critics from top publications, Bunker 15 takes a more bottom-up approach, apparently. Recruiting obscure, often self-published critics who are nevertheless part of the pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. And another break from standard... I love how... Bro, what a professional. In a break from standard practice.
Nice.
Several critics say Bunker 15 pays them $50 or more. That's a really interesting way to say it, isn't it?
By the way, the fact that this is so cheap means that they can... They can literally spend 2.5k and get like 50 people to do this crap. It is insanity. It's beautiful.
Yeah, a break from standard practice. Oh my god, what a fucking politician. I love this article. This is incredible. Let's see here. In the October of that year, an employee of the company emailed the prospective reviewer of Ophelia, Sundance film, and the feeling has been, is that it's been treated a bit harshly by some critics. I'm sure sky-high expectations were the culprit, so the teams involved feel like it would benefit from more input from different critics. More input from different critics is not very subtle code. Well, it's obvious, right? Because they're framing it from, you know, it's been treated a bit harshly. It's obvious, right? And let's see here. We're back to ask what would happen if...
I love it that these people so often justify their actions with, oh, you know, but it's the right thing kind of to do. You know, we're not really doing anything bad here. We're actually righting a wrong here. So, you know, it's good. Don't worry about it.
If he hated the film, Bunker 15 employee replied that, of course, journalists are free to write whatever they like, but super nice ones. And this is, again, it's a quote, right? And
nice.
This is what's so surprising about this is that usually these are paraphrasing. Super nice ones, and there are more critics like this than I expected, often agreed not to publish bad reviews on the usual websites, but instead quarantine them on a smaller blog that Rotten Tomatoes. I was thinking Russia Today. Rotten Tomatoes never sees. I think it's a very cool thing to do. So the person that was representing the company says it was a very cool thing to do to quarantine the negative reviews. Yeah, for sure.
Obviously.
And
So, what I understand that they are doing, that Rotten Tomatoes actually aggregates critics that they technically follow from different sites, but they post? I'm kind of understanding that that's what they're doing. So, the way they bypass it and, don't make it sus is like, that Rotten Tomatoes is going to take that critic's review of the movie from a different site. So, that critic posts their official review of that movie on a different site that no one even checks or no one cares about, calls it a 10 out of 10 banger, would watch again, and then Rotten Tomatoes automatically takes that score and just puts it in their system? That's kind of what I understood that's happening here. Or am I wrong? I'm not sure, but sounds like it.
Okay. Let's see. So this is what Quentin Tarantino said.
Oh.
Let's see. Movie called The Movie Critic admitted that Quentin Tarantino, no longer reads critics' work.
Smart.
Why would he? He's Quentin fucking Tarantino. What is he going to read it for? What are they going to tell him that he doesn't already fucking know? Yeah, why would he? Today, I don't know anyone, he said. I'm told this person is excellent, but whenever I ask what are the 3 movies she loved and 3 that she hated in the last few years, none can answer me because they don't care. This is probably because with Rotten Tomatoes, together with help from Yelp, Goodreads, and countless other review aggregators, has desensitized us to the opinions of individual critics. Well,
it's good, I guess, actually.
I'm just reading through this if there's anything else. To filmmakers across the taste spectrum, Rotten Tomatoes is a scourge. Martin Scorsese says that it reduces the director to a content manufacturer and the viewer to an unadventurous consumer. And Brett Rayner,
What do you want from Rotten Tomatoes, though? I mean, do you want even more from this? Like, I don't want Rotten Tomatoes to engage me. I just want to see what, well, not the critics, but the average person actually thinks about the movie. I couldn't give less of a shit about the critics, honestly.
Said it is the destruction of our business, but insiders acknowledge that it's become a crucial arbiter. And then so, of course, people are paying money to stack the deck. Who could have ever expected this?
No one.
So let's go ahead and let's talk about this. I don't think we need to go through the rest of it. I think it's just pretty obvious what we're looking at here.
Okay, hit me.
So, why is this happening? Why does this happen?
Because it can.
They're able to make money off of it. And also the reason why is that in my opinion, I don't agree that people that are professional reviewers need to be elevated on a...
You know what's the stupid part, by the way? You're watching this, and you're like, yeah, who cares about the critics? I'm watching this, and I'm also like, who cares about the critics? But the reality is that, if you're consuming anything about this topic, you're kind of a person who is already way deeper in this than an average person. In reality, you care about this stuff way more. But the true average person doesn't care. He doesn't even know this is happening, right? They just go on the site and they go, oh, Critic Score, 70%, seems good, gonna watch. Oh, Critic Score, 20%, seems bad, not gonna watch. They don't read the reviews, they don't read anything. They just check the score and, well, that's pretty much it. That is the actual average consumer. And this is why it's done. Because it's so easy, accessible, and it works.
Structural level. I think that if somebody's a professional reviewer, they should be elevated by the people who they provide reviews to. They shouldn't just be given a position and then told that everybody has to listen to this person who's a professional reviewer, and we're going to put them in a separate category away from the other common folk. I think this is ridiculous.
This is why people watch reviews on YouTube, okay? Because you find someone whose opinion you think you can trust, and then you just check if they actually review the thing that you are interested in. And that's how things work nowadays also a lot.
Why is this even a thing to begin with? Because if you go and you look at a lot of these video games, for example, there are games that are literal dog shit ass garbage.
Starfield.
But the game has a critical review score of like a 6 or a 7, whenever the audience review score is a 0.6 or a 0.7. I wonder what game I'm talking about.
Diablo.
But the fact is that whenever you have this much of a disconnect between the critical review people who are supposed to be professionals in the field and the audience, then you have a massive problem. And I want to talk about why this is a problem. It's because the reviews exist as an end product to serve the user. The review provides no value if it is wrong. Is that correct? Like if somebody reviews a movie that they haven't even seen, well, then I think that I wouldn't take that review very seriously, right?
Yeah.
Reviews exist as
Makes
a
sense.
benefit to the consumer, as a benefit to the, what do you call it? As a benefit to the people that watch the articles or watch the movie.
Well, yeah, they were supposed to be like a benefit for the average Joe who wants to actually check if something's good, but it hasn't been that case for a long time. Let's be real.
Movies, or not watch movies. They like go to the website. They're going to like some article, magazine, or whatever. This is the value that reviews provide, and I think that it is a tremendous problem that the critical reviewers who are given this position, which by the way is completely undemocratic, it is completely rigged, and it's not just apparently rigged with like people getting hired because they're in a good position or they have the right opinions, but it's rigged literally because they're getting paid to have them.
Yep.
So what a big fucking surprise this has happened.
Well, the former was also literally rigged. It's just different kind of rig.
So this is just reality in general. Well, the problem is that here's where the problem is. This will always happen as long as Rotten Tomatoes has the ability to have critical reviewers have their reviews separated from the public. I don't agree that critical reviewers should have any elevation above the general public unless they're publishing it on their own website. Rotten Tomatoes is a platform that exists for the benefit of moviegoers, not movie makers.
Well, that's why people actually check usually the viewer score, not the critic score.
Exists because people want to know, is this movie worth my time? And is Rotten Tomatoes serving their audience properly by elevating people without any sort of democratic selection to having their articles and their reviews pushed above what their normal...
Okay, stop using big words. You literally just said democratic selection of their preferred articles, which are two things that literally don't mix. That's not a democratic selection, Asmongold, okay? Like, it's time to stop using big words. It feels like I'm watching a Mudahar video.
Audience democratically agrees is the best review. No, they're not. And they're not serving their audience. So yeah, you can shit on this PR firm Bunker 15, whatever the fuck that is. But the truth is that Rotten Tomatoes are the ones that have created this problem. Because they have elevated these people through...
Well, actually, they haven't created this problem. This problem existed before Rotten Tomatoes. This problem existed before even critics were, actually present online. Critics existed before the internet. They existed in newspapers, and guess what? Those critics were also bought out. They also wrote what is right, otherwise their article would not be published.
In what many eyes of people, including myself, are arbitrary means. This is completely fucking arbitrary. There are plenty of people with film degrees. There are plenty of people who are able to write well, or write good, excuse me. And the truth is that, guess what? A lot of them can probably do a better fucking job than the reviewers.
If it's arbitrary, okay. Let me rephrase what he just said. Why I think my last brain cells are dying again. He said that the reviews are arbitrary, so other people could do a better job. Yes, that's true, but that would not make their reviews less arbitrary if your main problem with the review system is that some person gets randomly, undemocratically chosen just to be the voice of reason when it comes to judging are these movies good or not. Yeah, that's the correct way to phrase it. Which probably doesn't make a lot of sense to most people, but hey, I don't have a lot to work with here, okay?
Movie review Reddit, yeah. Let's see what people. I don't disagree completely. The only problem is audiences tend to rate review bomb, which does unfairly push a score down from, let's say, something from a 6.
I have not seen an unfair review bomb ever, by the way. Unfair review bombs are when, like, you know, someone calls out someone, like, super loved by well, not even super loved, but, you know, an unfair review bomb only occurs when, for example, someone calls out Mr. Beast for something. It doesn't matter, accurate or not accurate, and, like, Mr. Beast fanboys just, you know, downvote that because they love Mr. Beast so much. That is the only time, pretty much, when review bombing is like a bad thing, because it's just, you know, this is like how every single argument on the internet gets actually solved. It's not the person with the right opinion who wins. It's the person with the biggest following who wins. That's it. Pure and simple. So, you know, if you want to lose an argument on the internet while being 100% factually right, just go argue with someone bigger than you, and congratulations, you are wrong now.
To a 2? How can it possibly be unfair? How can it, like, what about it is unfair? Because
what is unfair
these
again?
games don't get review bombed for no reason, or movies
don't
get review bombed
that's a good point, because, yeah, again, review bombs happen for reasons.
For no reason. They get review bombed because something about the movie is not resonating with the audience.
Yeah.
And if something about the movie or the game does not resonate with an audience, isn't that indication of it being a problematic movie or a problematic game? Because ultimately...
Yeah, like, people are calling, like, the Diablo 4 user score a review bomb, by the way. Is it? No, of course it's not. The game is woefully undercooked. It is literally, like, probably 4 years, if we're being honest, away from being a good game. So, it's not a review bomb rating Diablo 4 a 0 out of 10, because that's what it is, because it shouldn't even honestly be out yet. Same with Starfield.
The people that are rating it for the community of people that use that website, right? So whenever a group of people who are like-minded, and they decide, we don't like this, and you can say it's for any arbitrary reason that you want. But in my opinion, there are no wrong opinions in the matters of taste. You can't tell people that they have to like something. And you can't tell somebody that they can't dislike something. So, it doesn't...
Spoken like a true furry, except he's not a furry.
...matter whether you think that it's unfair or not. If somebody doesn't like She-Hulk because they think that it's like some feminist girl boss bullshit, and
Well, it's just extreme shit. You don't even have to go that far. It's just really, really bad even without all of that.
Everybody else thinks this, well then they have the right to express that because they're the audience that it exists for. They are the public. And I don't think the company is doing the public, which is what it exists to serve, I don't think it's doing the public any favors by censoring people's opinions. Even if a video game or a movie represents something that people don't like, people still have the right to review bomb it. I don't like a review bomb.
That's not actually review bombing. It's just not liking something and then reviewing it and saying you don't like it. It's just the fact that a lot of people are not going to like something for one thing, and it's instantaneously a review bomb. Well, anytime something that Hollywood thinks is amazing, absolutely empowering, and blah blah blah, and people don't like it, they instantaneously say, review bombing! This word doesn't actually mean anything no longer in, like, movie scores or even game scores.
Either. I think they're stupid. And I think they're childish, and I think they're unproductive. But I think that people have the right to do them. Because the review bomb still represents genuine disappointment. It represents genuine sentiment. It's real. No one's saying they don't have the right. Well, I think that the implication is that they don't have the right to have... They don't.
Yeah, the implication is pure and simple that they should not be doing that.
Don't have the right to be represented fairly because their opinion is invalid. That's what your implication is, right? Because the implication of what you're saying is that we need external, basically like ivory tower reviewers to tell us what to think because the public is stupid and review bombs things. So whenever you say that, oh, well, the problem is review bombing, what you're implying is that we need these critics in order to counteract the review bombing. But I don't think that's true at all, because the fact is that a lot of critics also review bomb, but for different criteria. So what are we even talking about? I think everybody is using a set list of arbitrary criteria to decide whether something is worth their time or not. So what is this? And I think that it's much better to arrive at that conclusion democratically rather than have a group of people through a selection process that is opaque and unknown, opaque at best, unknown in reality, just decide to, hey, these are the people that we should take seriously. They review bombed the Joker. Yes, there's a good example. I think that the One Piece one was also review bombed. Let's think of some other movies that were review bombed by critics but really enjoyed by audiences. I think that some of the Transformers movies are. Expendables, I think, was as well.
Oh, bro, Expendables was great, and there's a new one on board, boy.
Let's see. Besides that, The Little Mermaid, Super Mario, yeah, Godzilla. Exactly. The Sound of Freedom. Yeah, The Sound of Freedom, or whatever the fuck that movie was. Exactly. And so, this is so like, how do you reconcile that review bombing is a problem, but you don't recognize or acknowledge that critics review bomb for different criteria? It's the same thing. So let's put...
Well, obviously, the hand that feeds is not gonna, touch the other hand that does the exact same thing, I guess, in this analogy. Well, whatever, you get the point.
Everybody on an even playing field.
Also, is this the whole video? Jesus Christ. Wow. Okay.
And if they want to make their own website with their own reviews, and then they only talk about their own reviews, then they have every right to do that. But in a public website that exists for the benefit of the public, it is best for it to be done democratically. There it is. Review bombing, for example, Last of Us Part 2. 2 out of 10 suggests the game has a problem, but it will undermine all aspects of the game does well, because one aspect of the game is unappealing to people. That doesn't benefit to the consumer.
Well, that aspect is hugely unliked by a lot of people, so it's fair. And if that aspect is, a game can be like a solid 10 out of 10 shooter, for example. But everything around it can be so bad that, that part doesn't matter any longer. There's weight to everything.
And it doesn't care about that one problematic aspect. So it doesn't benefit the consumer that doesn't care about that one problematic aspect? Okay, so if the one consumer that doesn't care about that problematic aspect... Okay, so, alright, let's break down your logic. So you're saying that The Last of Us Part 2 is review bombed, and it's review bombed because of that Abby girl, right? Or something like that. I remember reading into this. I never played the game, but I understand kind of the plot. And she's like a big, buff, like weird, like lesbian, I think people said. I don't know if she is or not. And she kills like an important character, something like that.
Yep.
And people were mad. Well, anyway, if enough people were upset about that, don't they have the right to express that they were upset?
Everyone was upset about that. It doesn't matter that the part until that point is good. If the other part just overtrumps the good part by so much. It's like, dude, Yeah, you probably can find someone who doesn't care about that part, but that's a niche opinion, you know? And that person that doesn't care about that part will rate the game like a 10 out of 10, for example. And it's gonna be balanced out by the people who don't like it, who are the majority, and rate that game poorly because of that thing, because it ruins the game for them en masse. You know, that's why it's an average. That's like you see average user score, not every single person's score, and then you you just choose to read the good ones or the bad ones. It's quite simple.
And also, if all of the people that are review bombing the game had that feeling, well then don't they have the right to say that? And if so many people felt that way, that it took the game from like a whatever it was before all the way down to a 2, doesn't that give a better indication of what the public is going to expect? Because it is a ratio or a mean, an average of all of the public's.
Bravo, Asmongold. You great opinion. You literally are learning slowly from me. It is what it is. Anyway, I don't want to sit through the last through this. It's a lot. Okay. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sid. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye bye.